Hello and
Hi.
welcome to the Sugar Show. We are always excited for these episodes, which are the sweet success stories. And today I have Kendall Myer. Oh, welcome, Kendall.
Hello. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Uh-huh. Kendall is a dynamo, and I've been watching you, Kendall, for a little while, and I'm so excited for you to share your story because you are so young and such a powerhouse with so much ahead of you that I wanted to make sure that your story was heard. So if anyone's kind of wondering about sugar or anyone's wondering about what to do with their aesthetic career, you are a great example. So cheers to you, little mama.
Thank you so much. It's definitely been more than I ever thought it was going to be for me. And I think
Right.
it could be that way for everybody, for
Yeah.
sure.
I'm excited for you to share that. So, Kendall is from Gadsden, Alabama, and she has quite the story to tell. So, we're going to do this kind of in timeline format, Kendall, where we start from the way beginning and work up to today. Uh, Kendall has, like I said, just a great story and a great timeline to tell. You've had a lot of success in a short amount of time. So let's go
Yes.
all the way back. Let's start in like high school because you're so young.
Okay.
Like when you were in high school, like did you always want to sugar people?
Well,
What
I
was your dream
honestly
in
I
high
didn't
school?
even I didn't even know what sugaring was until right when I started. When I was in high school, I was actually, I was in between, not really wanting to know what I was going to do with myself, and cosmetology was always in the back of my mind because makeup and hair, that was my jam. But I also wanted to actually go to school for criminal justice. I wanted to be a probation officer. Isn't that a turn of events. But I graduated in 2014 and I hadn't enrolled in college or anything yet. I was just, I was ready to enjoy the summer and I was graduated and I was going on a cruise for my senior trip, me and my boyfriend and all my friends. And I was living it up. And then about a month later, I found out that I was pregnant. I got pregnant on my senior trip. So happy graduation. Here's
Here's
the
your
baby.
present.
I had him in February of 2015. His name is Reed.
He's
He's
darling,
7
by the way.
now. Thank you so much. He's
Hmm.
he's the best. And after I had him, even before I had him, my life just kind of halted. And I was scared, I was having to work, but I was also, I also had this tiny baby and I was also a baby. And I
Hmm.
had him a month before I turned 19 years old. And when I look back, I think about how scared I was. And, I was working at Walmart and working at restaurants and working in plants and all these things, just trying to make those ends meet so that I could do enough. But school was just in the back of my mind.
Yeah.
And then I moved out of my parents' house and I told myself, if we're going to go to school, now's the time. What are you
Hmm.
going to go for? And I just couldn't make up my mind. I was just going to go and have basic courses, and then, maybe if I do my basic courses, then I can figure out what I want to do with myself. And it popped into my head. I'm like, why don't I go to cosmetology school? Because
Hmm.
I've always been good at it. I've always been the friend that, did my friend's hair, did their makeup, did their nails, waxed their eyebrows with a Sally's kit, just I was always that friend.
Right.
And I'm like, I think I would be really good at that. And my mom was like, absolutely, you need to go for it. And my parents, now that I'm older, they're just my biggest fans and they pushed me to try. So I went and toured the cosmetology school and I started the following week. And I had every intention of doing, all the normal cosmetology things. There's some facials in there, haircuts, hair color, makeup, all the things. And in Alabama, you have to have, I don't know how the rest of the country is, but in Alabama, you have to have 1,500 hours worth of school to be able to go and take your state board exam and be
Hmm.
licensed. Now, when you hit, I think it's 1,275 hours, you can apply for like a student license. It's kind of an apprenticeship
Oh.
where you can work under other cosmetologists or estheticians that have been licensed for, I think, 5 years. And you had to have good grades, you had to have good client feedback, you had to have all those bases covered. Well, my instructor comes up and she says, "You're ready. Here's your application." I put in the application, and like in 2 weeks, they said, "You're ready. Go get a job." And I panicked.
I
I
can
said,
imagine.
"Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute, because I don't think I'm ready to just be thrown to the wolves. I'm really going to have to go and do somebody's hair on my own. I'm not going to have a teacher right here beside me being able to fix it if she needs to fix it." Just panic. And I went to night school because I worked during the day. And I had went on my break. It was about 8:30 at night, and I went on my break and I just got on Indeed and I typed in cosmetology jobs. That sounds so silly, but I got on there just to see what would pop up. And the first thing that popped up was a studio that offered sugaring. And I'm like, what in the world is sugaring? I have never heard of that before in my life. So I just swap over to the next app, get on YouTube, and type in sugaring. And you can only imagine some of the videos that popped up. And I'm like, oh, it's kind of like wax. That's neat. So instead of applying, because I didn't really have, any credentials other than I'm a student in school and I'm being thrown out on my tail. I'm going to figure it out. So I just sent my resume and I said, they're probably never going to call me back. That's fine if they don't. At least I can say I tried. The owner called me from her cell phone in 8 minutes and offered me an interview. 8 minutes. And I said yes, of course. And she said, it was right around Christmas at that time. And she said, since Christmas is coming, let's just wait till after Christmas. Come in for your interview on December 27th. This is fried into my brain. And I said, okay, I'll be there. So I go on the 27th and I'm dressed to the nines and I'm nervous. I'm like, got the window cracked in my car and I'm heavy breathing because I'm nervous. I mean, this is my first like big girl job, have a license to do this career job. And I wanted to have it so bad. And I go in and we're just talking about the weather. We're talking about kids. We're talking about food we like. They're kind of showing me what it is, asking me if I know anything about it. And I said, I know pretty much what YouTube says. And they gave me the job. And that was on the 27th. I started on January the 2nd, and I haven't stopped since. I obviously work for myself now. I own my own studio. It's called Sugar and Glow by Kendall.
Mm-hmm.
I worked at that other shop for about 2 years, and they were good to me. They taught me how to do this. They showed me the ropes, and everything was great until it wasn't. And we'll leave it at that. And that was right around COVID. So I started my business in May of 2020, which is right at COVID. And in Alabama, they shut us all down. I think they shut everybody down around March.
Mm-hmm.
And, I knew that working in that other shop just wasn't going to be a good situation for me. I just felt it in my heart of hearts.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I wasn't getting paid much. I think I was making $8.75 at that time. An hour.
Hour?
An hour. $8.75 an hour.
Oh my.
Yes. And in my brain, I guess I just didn't think about how crazy that is. But I was living paycheck to paycheck, of
Were you
course, but I
technically
was.
still an apprentice in the beginning though?
Yes. And then when I graduated at the end of 2019
Mm-hmm.
from cosmetology school and went and got my license. Actually, I took my written exam and then I had to delay my practical exam because of COVID. So I didn't get to take my exams until after COVID. I think I took it in July or August. So I had been graduated for a year before I could do my
Wow.
practical exam.
Okay.
So when I was working at the other shop, I loved it. I fell in love with it. And 6 months' time, I had like 300 plus regular clients, which was insane. If you look on a map of Alabama and you see Gadsden, it's about this big. It's tiny. And so I was doing great. I was killing it. I was making good tips. And, you know, when when everything went down and I felt like I needed to go, I really started to realize I'm living paycheck to paycheck. I am a licensed cosmetologist and I'm living paycheck to paycheck. I have the control to make this into something bigger.
Yep.
And I knew I've got my son at the time, he was 5. And I said, I could do this. It would benefit me. I've already got the knowledge, I've already figured it out. I could do this. I had about $600 in my bank account, and I bought a starter kit. And I went to every dollar store and Walmart and, thrift store and got all kinds of stuff to fit this cute little room. I found a room to rent. And, I started, and I remember being so sick to my stomach the night before because I said, what if my clients don't follow me? And what if I've done all of this for nothing? And we had just come out of COVID. We wasn't even out of it yet. We didn't know what the board was going to do for cosmetologists and estheticians. We didn't know if people were still scared to come out of their houses. I know I was.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't really know what was going to happen. And I said, what if nobody shows up? And that first week, I'm going to get emotional. That first week, I worked Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday that week. And I took walk-ins. I told all my clients, just come in and see me. I'll get you, when I can get you if you don't mind waiting. Because if people are coming and I'm on walk-ins, I made more money in that 3 days than I had ever made at the other shop in that 3 days. And it changed my life. I'm sorry.
No, don't ever apologize.
And now I was at that other shop. I'm so sorry.
No, don't apologize.
When I moved to that shop, it was all I could afford. It was all I could do. And it was a nice place, but it wasn't the nicest place. And, I wanted more from my clients. And I said, part of the investment is having a better environment. And I wanted to continue my education, and I wanted to do all these things to make it a big deal for me and for my clients because, it's a different service. And so, especially for my area, it's very different for Alabama. So I'm like, we got to be on the ball because people aren't going to know what this is.
Yeah.
And you've only got this one other option. So, but ever since then, now I have about 1,000 plus regular clients a month. And that it's been 2 years since I started. In May, it'll be 2 years. So,
Girl, first of all, do not ever apologize for just feeling that grace, feeling that if we can't like acknowledge the admiration we have for ourselves and getting through these hard times, who's gonna, right? Like, and
yeah,
when you're overwhelmed with that feeling of, wow, I really did this,
I
like
did.
this really happened. You did this. And that's
Yes.
why I really wanted to make sure that everyone heard your story because you had that self-doubt. You weren't sure. You would stare at the ceiling and wonder how you were going to pay for Reed and pay for your apartment and have those moments of just true soul searching. And you really just held on to your soul and said, all right, here we go. And it's hard work. It's not just, I'm going to
It
pray on
is
it.
so hard.
I know. I'm going to pray on it and it's going to happen, right? You have to
Yes.
get up and get in that room every day and put your babies at daycare and go
Yes.
and like you have to be the one that focuses on that ball of sugar, And
Absolutely.
when you look back and realize how far you've come, it is an overwhelming, like amazing feeling of just pride.
Yes. Like I want to go back in time and just grab 20-year-old Kendall and tell her,
Yeah.
you can do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
nothing that you can't do. And
Yeah.
now here I am. I'm 26 years old. I'm debt free. My
Yeah.
son is 7 years old and he's wonderful. And I have a beautiful shop and beautiful
Mhm.
people in my corner.
Yeah.
And I would have just, it's a huge testimony for me. And I share it as much as I can, and
Yeah.
my clients are so important. I have some of the best clients on the planet. And I'm so thankful for the opportunity to be able to do it. But I'm also thankful for the opportunity teaching me that I was able to do it.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
you get this stigma about, teen mothers and,
Mhm.
you've just made your life so terrible. You've just ruined your life. You have
Mhm.
just, you have messed up so bad. And, you know, I feel like if I didn't have Reed when I did, I wouldn't have had the push. I wouldn't have
Mhm.
had the reason to keep going and
Mhm.
doing what I was doing.
Oh,
And,
God had a
you
plan for
know,
you, girl.
he did. He did. And, when at that other shop, I tell everybody when we had that situation come up and it got bad, and I
Mhm.
finally just had to go. And I tell everybody, I feel like the Lord was like, girl, I had to get you out of there because you weren't going to do it yourself.
Yeah.
And I'm glad he did. Sometimes we just need a swift kick in the butt to just
Yeah.
say, you can do this. And,
Yeah.
to do it in COVID and everything, some of it's like a fever dream. I know I can remember being so exhausted and so
Yeah.
scared. And now I don't have that feeling anymore because I'm taken care of and I continued my education and I worked really hard. And
Yeah.
I've got the best hub of coworkers and friends and family that I can think of. And that support is huge.
Talk
And
about that for just a moment. Talk about,
it
so
is.
you were nudged to take the next step, which was to
Yes.
join these other amazing women, and talk about the environment that you're in right now.
So at the shop that I was in before, the one that I moved in with the very little money, and
Mhm.
I actually met a coworker there that I work with now, and it's so funny because when we met, we both kind of. I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to like her very much. And I said that in my head. And now we're good friends. And she said the same thing about me. She's like, there's just something about you. I didn't know if I was going to like her or not. And she does lashes and facials. She does a little bit of everything. She is a rock star, and she's kind of like my work mama,
Mhm.
and she worked with me at the other shop, and she told me that her and two of my other friends were opening this place, and she said, I really want you to come with me. And I said, are you kidding? I've been in this shop for a year and now I'm going to move again. And my clients are going to say, oh my gosh, here you go again. You're moving somewhere else. You're going to change your website and you're going to be going somewhere else. And then I left there. Actually, on the 31st of this month will be a year that I've been in this shop. And when I came, it was like a weight was lifted off my shoulders. Everybody that I work with, we are all so tight knit. Like I've got 8 coworkers, 7 women and a male,
Mhm.
and we have everybody does their own thing. We all have our own shtick.
Mhm.
So we've got sugar waxing, we've got massage, we've got a hairdresser, we've got another hairdresser that specializes in wig installation,
Okay.
um, lashes, nails. We've got a little mix of everything. So we all come together as a team, but we all have that diversity where we kind of have a one-stop shop.
Mhm.
And it's a hub for all of us to, just surround each other in that support that we need. Because we all come from different backgrounds. Some of us are single moms, some of us are married and have teenagers, some of us aren't married at all and living our best life. We are the perfect mix because we all have a testimony to share
Yeah.
and an experience to share. And we all have the same mentality of, I thought I couldn't do this. And here I am. I'm doing it. I'm going to wear a crown that says boss on it because I
Yes.
did it. And
Yes.
I love it here. I couldn't ask for anything better than this shop or my coworkers. They
You know,
are
that
everything.
true that true collaboration and truly being
Yes.
able to say, "Oh, I sugar, but you probably need a facial. Go to this gal right down the hall."
Yes.
Or, "Oh, you want lashes for that event? Well, let's get your face sugared up and your brows done nice." And it's that
Yes.
true collaboration that really is it's a blessing when you can get people that understand that and they're not, competing, but they are
Yes.
rising each other up. And,
Yeah.
oh, I
I
love
love
this
it.
for
And
you.
now all of our clients, they see 1, 2, all of us, it's a mixture. And then they come in and it's just like a giant family reunion. I mean, we all love each other.
Yes.
It's magic. It is
Oh,
magic, and, this little small town doesn't have anything like this. I think that we kind of shook Gadsden
yeah.
because we were in the paper. We were voted best salon. We were voted, all these things. We've been in the paper a couple of times. It's just exploded. But we all have the same goal to work hard, but also
Mhm.
love our people.
Yeah.
And I can't ask for anything better. I really, really can't.
Oh, that's wonderful. I want to hear as well, like, kind of what I think sometimes people say, "Okay, well, what's next?" Right? And you and I talked about this before the show, like, "Well, are you gonna do this? Are you gonna do that? What's next? Are you gonna expand? Are you gonna" and I love that what you're really doing is just embracing, like, this success right now. And you're
Yes,
not trying for that next thing. You're not trying to, you know, go teach or go start your own products or whatever. Like, you really are staying in your lane and loving on what is the most important thing in this industry, our clients. At the end of the
absolutely.
day, it's our clients. And your success, I believe, is truly a model of focusing on the work and the clients. And so I love that really your example is to take that business that you have and do the most with it, and don't try to be all things to all people, right?
Yes,
You're not trying to be everything. You're trying to really take those clients, nurture them, love on them, and make your money off of this little energy force that you have.
yes,
And then really go focus on Reed and focus on friends and self-care and all of those things. You don't necessarily have to be successful by going and doing all the things. Just be successful at
absolutely.
this one thing and find that work-life balance. And you're truly at 26 years old, happy birthday, by the
Yes,
way. At
thank you so
26 years
much.
old, you have seen more in life than some people in 30 and 40 do, you know?
Yes,
And so
that's
I love that about what you're doing. And I think it's really smart, Kendall, to really just focus on, like, having your business be this pulse and this thing that you love and it loves you back so that you can go be Kendall outside of that treatment room,
yes.
you know?
Yes, I had to learn that the difference in Kindle the person and Kindle the business,
Mhm.
and that's definitely the hardest part of owning a business. But when you center it, like you said, I don't have to focus on so many things. I have a craft and I've perfected it, and I have perfected, my information that I feed clients. I have perfected my consultations. I've perfected,
Mhm.
my finances. I have perfected all that. I'm going to give you a little Southern girl quote that everybody down here knows, and that is, "Don't fix it if it ain't broke." And I live by that because what I'm doing now is the life source of everything
Mhm.
that I do.
Mhm.
And, I don't have to do all these extra things. I just focus on this one thing, and my success, yes, I am successful. I have clients and I'm blessed with that. And I'm blessed with a beautiful place to work at. And I'm blessed to have all these things, but the success is what you make of it.
Yeah.
Because if you aren't running into it and you're saying, "I'm going to succeed, I'm just going to have to figure it out and I'm going to get there. I don't know when, but I'm going to get there. That's where your success is going to be. Don't
Yeah.
walk into it and expect success. You have to work for it, but
Mhm.
that work pays off
Mm,
a millionfold. It really does.
it really
Um,
does.
my plans for the future, I'm going to keep taking care of my people, my
Mhm.
work people, and my home people, and,
Mhm.
working really hard to keep perfecting that and keep continuing my education, because that's what I love about this industry is there's something new every day, every single day. As a cosmetologist or an esthetician, you never run out of things to learn or things to see or things to do, and that's exciting for me. Um, I do want to do more, and I want to expand. I want to see more, and I want to learn more, and I want to be more. But I'm also comfortable where I am, and I'm so blessed to have
Mhm.
what I have right now. I don't even have any other words about it.
Oh,
I'm just
that's all the
so
words.
thankful for it.
That's what it's all about. That's what life is truly all about, and I love that you're learning this early.
Yes,
I love that you're sharing this early, and really that's what it's about,
it
is
is.
just keep
Just
it
being
simple.
present in what you have.
Mhm.
Just be present. Be
Mhm.
thankful for what you have. Stop looking for, the quick fix.
Mhm.
Your success is measured on what you're willing to do. And trust me, there's a lot of things that I had to do that I didn't want to do, but I did it.
Mhm.
And now it's paying me back.
Yeah.
It's paying me back in money, it's paying me back in my soul, it's paying me back in every way that it could pay me back, it is.
Yeah.
And the hard work pays off. It
Yeah.
really does.
Yeah. You
It
are
does.
truly soul strong, and I love that about you, and I love that from the minute I met you, and I am
Thank
so,
you.
so proud of you and so glad that you are on the show to really share your message, and you really did that today, and thank you so much.
Thank you for letting me share it. I try to share it as much as I can to everybody that I can, because it's definitely a rise from the ashes story,
Mhm.
and we can all do it. We can
Yeah.
all have that success. We can all
Yeah.
do it, and it will change your life. Sugar sugar has done so much more for me than I ever thought it would, and it
Right?
hasn't stopped.
Yeah,
It never stopped.
that little
It's
ball of
still going.
yeah, that little ball of lemon, sugar, and water, who
Yes.
would have thunk?
Yes,
Never
it's
in our wildest
amazing.
dreams would we think that this is what we're doing with just taking hair out of people's bodies, and it is so much
Yes,
more than that, and I'm so glad
it
that you feel
is.
that as well. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Kendall, for being on the Sweet Success Story series on the Sugar Show, and, I can't wait to hear, um, more from you, and thank you for sharing your timeline, because I think sometimes people feel like it's not attainable. So you really helped
Yes.
us to see that it's attainable.
Well, thank you for having me, and thank you for letting me share it. And I'm thankful for the opportunity to know you and to be able to share this story with everybody.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful. I'm very thankful, and thank you for
Oh,
giving me the opportunity. I appreciate
absolutely,
it.
absolutely. And for those of you that are watching this success story, you can do it too. As Kendall said, you just have to focus and have faith and tap down into that little part of your soul that knows that you've got this if you just work hard for it. And I am so looking forward to sharing other success stories with you, because everyone's story is different, but we all hold the same ball of sugar in our hands. So have a blessed day, have a blessed week, and I know that the future is so bright for all of you.